And I welcome you back to the Brackish channel. Today we are talking about New Orleans, and they are in a world of trouble, ladies and gentlemen. I am not sure if you know what is going on, but the Mississippi River is flowing backwards, and it's causing the brackish water to come in down south about mile marker 63, and it overtopped it just the other day. And it overtopped what, you may be asking? That's correct. It overtopped the sill. A sill is a dike that is put in at the bottom of the river to stop the water from undercutting the heavy brackish water, to undercut the fresh water. It takes that water and it slows it down. It can't stop it altogether, but it slows it down, and the problem is it's moving backwards because there's no flow to keep it out. Normally the Mississippi River is a powerful force and it just keeps it out, but it's already up to mile marker number 63.8, and it could possibly get to around Belle Chase at mile marker 75.5 around October 13th, and then from there it could possibly hit New Orleans by October 25th. This is very scary information because if this happens, this is going to be a bad day for New Orleans. A lot of people are going to be without water, and this is why they need to figure out a different place to get their water source from, maybe further upstream or somewhere else. New Orleans always has been under the threat of flooding. New Orleans has always been under the threat of salt water creeping in, and they have no way to combat this. Now, the governor, John Bell Edwards, said there's no need to panic to buy bottled water, but he just wants to let everybody know that salt water could possibly hit New Orleans. Now, Edwards did say there's local entities are working on varieties of solution to keep drinking water safe, Edwards said. That includes shipping in millions of gallons of water to dilute the intake of the area water treatment facility that draws from the Mississippi River. You may be asking yourself how the saltwater intrusion works. As the Mississippi empties into the Gulf of Mexico, the flow of fresh water typically provides enough pressure to keep the salt water from creeping upriver. But if you guys aren't aware that the river's in an extreme drought, just like last year at this time in October, if you remember, we were at a very low point in the water year, and it's been very dry here in Illinois where I live. It's been very dry in Missouri, very dry in Indiana as well, and with all that non-rain hitting the river system, that slows down the river flow, causing the river to drop. And this time of year is typically pretty dry, but not always, so that's just the way it goes. You got to remember that salt water is denser than fresh water, so it moves upstream along the bottom as a binary wedge, threatening local water systems that rely on the Mississippi River. Here is some video of the Army Corps of Engineers that I found on Twitter going downriver to make the berm, the sill, higher to slow it down. They already did this through the summer, increasing it, and this ain't the first time they have done this. They've done this in the past. They did it last year. You may be asking yourself, how many inches of rain would it take to get the river flowing back where they'd have nothing to worry about? And that answer would be around 10 inches across the Mississippi River Valley would be enough to ease local concerns. But there's no sign of that coming within the next few weeks, and we'll go to windy.com now and I'll show you what I'm talking about. You could see it scattered at best way up here, but you got to remember this takes 60 days for it to get there. That's only 2.47. There's nothing really big. There's no reds, oranges, or anything like that. Like over here in the ocean, they got 4.79. That's not 10 inches, not even close. Down here by Joplin, Missouri, they're talking about 1.74, 2.13. So you can see just not a whole lot of precipitation, a little bit, but nothing crazy over the next 3 days. We go to the next 10 days, and you can still see not a whole lot of rain coming. Not the 10 inches that they need. So, and you got to remember this is all dry ground over here because it's been very dry this summer. So therefore, this water will soak into the ground and not much runoff unless it comes really fast and furious. And you just never know. We got a half inch of rain the other day and my ground was just barely wet. So there you have it. And we will see you in a little while. God bless.